Mr. Deputy Speaker, sir, at the outset, I take this opportunity to congratulate the Honourable Prime Minister and the Finance Minister for successfully launching GST, as it has united the fragmented tax structure and created one tax, until now not for one nation as J&K was left out, but now with these bills, it is now truly one tax for the entire nation. Sir, with GST, India is now the single largest market in the world. Not USA, not China. As we all know, from state to state or region to region, their tax rates change quite a bit. It's not the European Union, but India is leading the way as the single largest market in the world. So the bills are to replace ordinances issued by the President on 8th July 2017, have a very limited objective, and that is to extend GST to J&K. Last time when we discussed GST bills, it was not clearly known to people, the traders and others, in which slab they would fall and what impact will it have on them. Now that the big picture has become more clear, traders, people have started airing their grievances for consideration of the FM and for the GST Council. My state, and particularly my district, Guntur, has some issues regarding to GST classifications, and as some of the items are non-agricultural commodities, whereas in reality they're agricultural commodities. I just want to spend a few minutes talking about that, sir. So, agricultural items are removed from the purview of GST, and this is very welcome. But there are some commodities which are agriculture, but the GST Council, for reasons best known to it, is not considering them as agriculture. Let me give an example. Sir, 5% GST is imposed on red chilies, whereas 0% GST is imposed on green chilies. Minister Ji, Jaitley Ji, just one point, sir. The red chilies, sir, my district Guntur is the largest growing chili district in the world, sir. We produce 20% of the chilies of the global production. And in this GST, while 5% is being imposed on red chilies, 0% is imposed on green chilies. And the reasoning that they give is because the red chilies are dried in the sun, whereas the green chilies are not dried in the sun. Even though they both come from the same chili. It's not a manufacturing process, sir. It's a simple drying in the sun and then selling. But 5% GST is being imposed on dry red chilies. I request you to please look at that and bring it down to 0, sir, like it is for green chilies. Similarly, on turmeric, there's 0% GST on turmeric. But after drying this under the sun, again, which is a natural process, 5% of GST is imposed, and this is also not justified, sir. So I request the Finance Minister and the GST Council to remove the 5% GST on red chilies and on turmeric, sir. Sir, another example is roasted red gram. It's also done through a natural process, and neither there's any value addition or any other processes involved. But 18% GST is imposed on this, sir. It should be also treated like agriculture commodity, not as a processed food, sir. Roasted red gram is done by farmers with very basic roasting process, not in a modern setting, sir. I have no hesitation to say that it is the irony that de-stemming is also considered as value addition under GST, sir. It is ridiculous that if you remove stem from any vegetable or plant, it becomes value addition and attracts GST. So please do not consider de-stemming as a value addition, sir. So I request the Finance Minister to please look into these and remove GST on chilies, turmeric, and other non-processed or naturally processed agriculture commodities, sir. So the next point is on tobacco, sir. Sir, 5% GST is imposed on tobacco leaves on reverse mechanism, and 28% on all other goods not specifically mentioned elsewhere other than bids. It is really pinching the tobacco farmers in particular and the sector in general. Earlier, the central excise duty was removed on raw tobacco and unmanufactured tobacco. Now the GST Council has reversed this and proposed to impose rates at 5% and 28%, which is detrimental not only to the tobacco growers but also to exporters, sir. Secondly, it impacts foreign exchange, which we are now getting around 6,000 crores per annum. So this may also be considered, and GST may be reduced to 0% and 5% respectively, sir. Sir, the next is on textiles, and I think this is probably an input that you've been receiving from many people across the country. The Honorable Finance Minister is aware of the countrywide agitation by textile traders against imposition of 5% GST on man-made fabric, yarn, fabric, and ready-made garments. Earlier, there was no VAT on hank yarn and handloom fabric. Secondly, if ready-made garments are more than 1,000 rupees, then 12% GST is imposed. I request the Honourable Finance Minister to please reconsider this decision, as lakhs and lakhs of handloom weavers are involved in this and would be affected, sir. Sir, the next point is on real estate. Sir, many ventures in real estate were about to be completed and were not sold as on the appointed day due to the slump in the real estate sector for the last 2 years. Moreover, the completion of the construction of apartments will take a minimum of 15 to 18 months, and in some cases even 36 to 42 months in the case of high-rise apartments. Hence, restricting the input credit for invoices of not earlier than 12 months will cause the denial of legitimate input credit for the stocks held on the appointed day. So their demand is that input credit should not be restricted to 12 months for the builders, and credit should be given for all the invoices, the stocks of which were held in stock on the appointed day, sir. Sir, a few other points that I want to make is many people have spoken up on sanitary napkins, so I won't take too long, but sanitary napkins is something I would also like you to review, sir, as well as branded vegetables, sir. Sir, any vegetables sold with a registered trademark are now getting a GST. So that means basically that the quality, the freshness, the hygiene that is guaranteed by a brand or a trademark is being taxed, whereas the same product that is not branded is not being taxed. So this is working as a disincentive, sir. It's a disincentive for customers to move to branded, quality, fresh, hygiene products rather than other products. And we would request you to please relook at this also, sir. Sir, one other one is on hybrid and electric cars, sir. Sir, there's a policy by the government or a mission by the government that by 2030 that there should not be sale of anything other than electric vehicles. And also, if you look at things like what's happening in Delhi because of pollution, the odd-even rules, they allow hybrid cars and electric cars to ply on both the days, but they don't allow any other cars. But I'm surprised to see that hybrid and electric cars are being taxed even higher than petrol and diesel cars, sir. I'm not sure if you're aware of this, but please take a look at that. It may not be the case in the smaller capacity cars, but when we start going up to mid-size and larger cars, the tax rate for hybrid and electric vehicles is actually larger or more than the petrol and diesel. So I would like to take a look at this, sir. Sir, as many members have already stated, I too feel there are still too many rates, and I feel there's still scope going forward for some of the goods, even for like the same goods, like I'll give you an example, like a shirt. Depending on the price of the shirt, the rate is changing. So it's leading to a lot of confusion in the marketplace. And I would like you to please consider a maximum of 3 slabs instead of the 6, and remove multiple slabs for same goods or services, sir. Sir, tax officers are being very proactive. I've interacted with them in Guntur also, and they're interacting with the trade quite well. But right now, I believe the customer awareness is at a very low level, sir. Customers are not clear about what they should be looking for, what they should be careful about when buying any goods or services. So some type of campaign or a program to educate them, I think, would be useful, sir. Also, sir, like Malaysia had enacted an anti-profiteering legislation at the time of their introduction of GST, I think that would be something that we should consider as well. Finally, sir, my last point is on industrial incentives, sir. Sir, at the time of bifurcation, Andhra Pradesh was promised that we would be given industrial incentives in line with Uttarakhand and Himachal Pradesh. When we were insisting on this, it was told to us that because of GST, that is no longer going to be the case, because excise duty exemption is no longer going to be possible. But now these states are getting GST refund in lieu of those incentives, sir. So, sir, on the behalf of the people of Andhra Pradesh, I would also like to demand to keep up with the promises made to us that whatever is being given to the hilly states like Uttarakhand and Himachal Pradesh, the same benefit should be extended to Andhra Pradesh and Telangana as per the AP Reorganization Act.